is The Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, The Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on The Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAIA Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on The Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
The Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Yo, happy Tuesday. Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana state law says it is your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave today. A fun show. We're going to talk a lot of bull riding. Parker Breding set to join us in about 15 minutes. The four-time Ram Circuit Final champ from Montana, who's headed up to Alaska this week and will be a part of Rodeo Alaska and the PRCA bull riding on Saturday night. Now, I know we had him on last week, but we had a ton of audio issues. But Frank Koloski will join us from Alaska here in about 40 minutes, and we'll talk about the big bull riding this weekend up there in the Last Frontier. So we'll talk to Frank about that as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've also got a poll question you can weigh in on. What should MSU-B do? And we'll talk about it more here in a second. Should MSU-Billings add football and stay Division II? Should MSU-B not add football, stay D2, or drop down to the NAIA and the Frontier? You can vote at Walker Sports, and we'll leave it up for till tomorrow. But Jeff Welsh, the columnist for 406mtsports.com, has an article up today, an opinion page about it up today. And he thinks football should be added. I'll give you my thoughts here in a second. But On This Day in History is on the way, and much more. You can watch live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, TreasureStateRadio.com, and a whole lot more. We had a lot of fun with Montana Pearson yesterday. East Helena's sophomore who won a division title. If you missed it, you can go to jasonwalkershow.com and check it out there. So we'll get to the MSU-B deal here in a second. But there was some news out of the Big Sky Conference today, and that is that the President's Council, along with the Student Advisory Committee, Student Athlete Advisory Committee, decided that the transfer policy, intra-conference transfer policy, would be rescinded immediately. Now, what this means is that you can transfer within the conference. You can transfer from Northern Colorado to Weber State, Montana State to Sac State, for instance, and you don't have to sit out a year. You can go and compete right away. Now, this is a big deal. I kind of like it. I think it's cool that the Big Sky is doing this. The NCAA did a one-time, one-year deal because of COVID and all that. But the Big Sky is saying, hey, look, we're going to do this all the time. So you can play or go to school like in Bozeman, Montana State, and say, you know what, it's not the right fit for me. And then you can transfer to a Portland State or Idaho State or wherever, and you don't have to sit out a year. So you don't lose a year of eligibility. Well, you wouldn't lose a year of eligibility anyway, but you don't lose that year of nothing. Like Fallon Frigie, who we had on last week, who nobody heard because of audio issues, and we'll get back on maybe next week. But Fallon, for instance, transferring from North Dakota, or Claire Lundberg, who transferred as well to Montana State. But Fallon would not have had to sit out a year, and she would have been able to compete right away at Montana State, for instance. So there you go. I like I said, I think it's kind of a cool deal, and kudos to the Big Sky for doing that. and being one of the first to do that. That's really cool. So there you go. Let's see what else. All right, let's get to the big one, and you can vote at Jaywalker Sports on the Twitter. Should MSU-B reinstate football? Well, Jeff Welsh, columnist, 406mtsports.com, said that MSU-B is really in. They've hit a fork in the road, is basically what Jeff said. And it's got three different forks to take. And he said that, it's the middle fork is where they're at. This is Jeff Welsh, 406mtsports.com. Another fork is to come back to the NAIA, or throttle back to the NAIA, which is his words. You'd fit right in with Rocky. You'd fit right in Montana, of course, with the Montana schools, and then there'd be 6. And then the third is to reinstate what was taken away in 1978, and that is football. And he thinks football should be brought back. Now, it's not something new. MSU-B's been thinking about this for a while. A bunch of former Eastern Montana college players have, it's called the Big Huddle. And for over a decade, they have tried to get football back. And they probably should. I know at one point there was some land out on the west side of Billings that was either purchased or could have been purchased for football. Jeff Welsh uses the example of CSU Pueblo down in Pueblo, Colorado, bringing back football in 2008, and basically has become really good in the RMAC. Now, the RMAC is fantastic as it is. And before even Pueblo came into play, I mean, Mesa State was really good. Chadron State, you might remember the name Danny Woodhead, who lit up Montana State back in 2006 and had a pretty good NFL career. But Pueblo added football back in 2008, 23 years after they got rid of it, and now they're doing well. So here's my thoughts. I think it needs to be brought back. I think football has to be back at MSU-B. Now, does that mean they stay at the D2 level, or do they drop to the NAI? Money-wise, it makes more sense probably to add football and drop down to the NAI level and join the Frontier Conference in all sports. You save money because you're not going to Alaska. You're not in the GNAC. And you're in a really good football conference and a great basketball conference and other sports as well. You've got softball. Now, here's the problem. You have baseball. Nobody in the Frontier has baseball. So what would they do there? Well, you can do different things. You can do a lot. If you don't add football and drop back to the Frontier, the NAI, that's fine. But I think if you drop back to the NAI and you save money, you have natural rivalries already, especially in the Magic City. And then the NAI, and then the Frontier has another team to schedule in all sports. Now, I think that's the way I would go. What would you do? You can vote at Jaywalker Sports on the Twitter. You can email Jason at jasonwalkershow.com. You can call in, text in. What would you do if you're MSU-B? I remember moving here in 2013, and the talk was, should Carroll College go to the D2 level and join the GNAC? Which at the time, there's pros and cons to both. Staying NAIA or moving up to D2. Same thing for MSU-B. Now, the big deal is MSU-B has to add football. Would it be a great addition to the Frontier without? Absolutely. But I still think they need football at MSU-B. You can vote at Jay Walker Sports and let us know your thoughts. But when we return, we are going to check in with the bull riding king, one of the kings of bull riding anyway. He's a 4-time champ of the Ram Circuit Finals. Parker Breding from Edgar set to join us. Also going to talk to Frank Koloski coming up. Tomorrow, Sean Gleason, CEO of the PBR, is set to join us as well. So we have a lot of rodeo talk this week, but a lot of other talk too. So there you go. Jason Walker Show is presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State law says it is your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. And the unparalleled customer service is what I'd like to talk about today. When I was in a vehicle accident last year, got T-boned, I thought my truck was totaled. Took the Capital Collision Center, and within a couple of days, they had taken pictures. They had contacted both insurance companies. They had done all the legwork. I didn't have to do a thing. And in all the time it took to get my truck fixed from day one, I had text messages, I had emails, I had phone calls letting me know what was going on, what the next step was with my truck. And it worked perfect. And when I got it back, it was like it had just come off the lot. Capital Collision Center will take care of you. They are professional. They treat you like family, and there's nobody better. Capital Collision Center, proud sponsor of the Jason Walker Show. Parker Breding set to join us next. Hang on.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana State law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show on a Tuesday. Presented by Capital Collision Center. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. PBR CEO Sean Gleason will join us tomorrow. Scheduled anyway. Frank Koloski will join us from Rodeo, Alaska here in about 25 minutes. And on this day in history, one of the dudes headed up to Rodeo Alaska, a big bull riding event, is none other than, I think he's ranked 8th in the nation right now, but his name is Parker Breding. He is a great friend of the show, and he joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show, Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Glad to be home for a couple of days, but also glad to be headed where I'm headed.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, but how was Texas for you? Did you go down there?
Yeah. I was down south for about a month through April and part of May, and I had a lot of success down there. Won a lot of money, but still was kind of dropping in the standings somehow.
Well, that's not good. You got to win more.
Yeah, that's apparently I got to do more than I'm doing. But I've been drawing good bulls and staying on them, so there's not a whole lot more than I can do.
It helps, too, that you're healthy. And you and I talked, I think it was last year, but you've been healthy for the first time in a long time. And that, like I said, that definitely helps ride some bulls.
Yeah, that's for sure. I feel more like myself before my knee injury a couple of years ago than I have in a long time. And definitely have a little bit more of that confidence back that comes with being healthy and out on the road.
Last week was a big bull riding down there in Texas, and a lot of you guys competed. It's a big one, and it was a memorial, so it means a lot more to the guys on the circuit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. And that bull riding down there, the George Paul Memorial, it's got so much history there. This was actually the first time I got to go to it. The first couple of years it didn't work out entry-wise, where I missed entry once and then got doubled up somewhere else one time. So I got to finally go down there last weekend, and it was pretty cool to take all that in. Rode one bull, bucked off the other one, didn't win anything, but it was definitely worth the trip.
Parker Breding joining us here, Jason Walker Show. You're also a four-timer. You got six-timer in Sage Kimsey at the NFR. You're four-timer at the Ram Circuit Finals. It's like you just ride different when you get down there. What is it about Kissimmee?
You know, I've been actually trying to figure that out myself. I think mainly it's kind of the vacation atmosphere down there. That's kind of how I've always treated it when I go down. You know, I'm glad to be able to get on bulls for money down there, but I really enjoy myself the whole time in that nice weather and being able to go to the beach and all those things. And I think that just kind of relaxes me and takes the pressure off or something. Allows me to perform to top notch for some reason.
Well, whatever you do down there, I mean, keep it up, obviously. And of course, you know, it's not like you said, you got the beach, you got Florida. You can't beat that a whole lot.
No, definitely not. And like after I won that, we got to go fishing on the Gulf down by Arcadia down there, and that was something I'd never gotten to do yet either. So it was an amazing time. Even if I would have bucked off every single bull, I still would have had fun. And I think with that attitude, it must just be the right recipe.
So what did you fish for?
Well, I didn't really know what our options were going to be, but we actually were catching a bunch of rainbow trout. And then there was a couple other ones that my buddy Hawk Witt caught that I didn't even know what they were. The guy that took us knew, but mainly it was rainbow trout, which kind of surprised me. I didn't even know they were in saltwater, I guess.
Well, I didn't either. I figured you'd be catching some swordfish and who knows what, sharks, who knows?
Yeah, and they said they could be out there. We saw quite a few dolphins, and so it was exciting, but I still caught the biggest trout I've ever caught, and nice. I've done a bunch of fishing up north here.
Well, are you going to, okay, so you're heading up to Alaska this weekend for Rodeo Alaska, big PRCA bull riding. I think 34 of the top 40 are all headed up to this thing. It's a big event, and on Saturday night up there, just outside Anchorage. But are you going to do any fishing in Alaska?
Sadly, no, not this time around. I think just the way our flights worked out, we kind of are getting in and getting out. But knowing what we know now about flight prices and where to go and everything, we're planning on hopefully going back maybe in the fall or maybe next spring or sometime when they got good weather. I don't know too much about it, but at least go scope it out this weekend and hopefully go make time for that fishing up there.
Well, exactly. Yeah, catch some salmon, right?
Yeah.
Parker Breding joining us. All right. So how do you decide to go to Alaska? I mean, did they contact you, or does this just pop up on the schedule and everybody's like, dude, we're heading to Alaska?
That was about exactly what happened for us and probably most of the guys. We kind of caught wind of this, maybe 2 or 3 months ago that they were planning on having this. And I was kind of thinking, it's got to be expensive to get up there or whatnot. And finally, me and Hawk decided, well, no matter how much it is, we got to go experience that. So we had to enter it a couple, 2 or 3 weeks ago and got into it and then booked our flights right away. And I'll be darned if it wasn't only a couple $100 out of Bozeman. So, yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty cool deal. I've never been that far north.
Me either. It'd be pretty cool. I'd like to go next year if they get this thing. In fact, we got the organizer, Frank Koloski, coming on here a little bit later on today. But it's a cool deal, and it's this guy's been working his tail off. He's a one-man show basically, as far as his rodeo committee, and for the PRCA to get involved is pretty cool too, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and I hope that this is gonna maybe open doors for other places that normally wouldn't be on the schedule to maybe start putting on some shows. I'd really excited to be able to branch off like this, especially we got busy times coming up. It's going to be pretty cool to go see some different country.
There's no question about that. Parker Breding, our guest here. This is when people think of bull riding, when people think of rodeo, they don't think of Alaska. At least I don't until I heard about this deal a couple weeks ago. I mean, did you think about Alaska for rodeo?
No, I never have. I maybe I've heard of there being a rodeo there before. I'm not sure. It seems like maybe, but yeah, I never in a million years thought that we'd be having an extreme bulls event up there. And everybody jokes when I tell them I'm headed to Alaska, like, what are you going to get on, yaks or something? And no, and I don't know how far it is for outlaw buckers to bring their bulls over there, but they have a pen of outstanding bucking bulls, so it's going to be a really cool event.
Rank outlaw as compared to some of the bulls we see at like the NFR or on the PBR tour.
Well, outlaw has quite a few PBR events up north, or they did pre-COVID. I'm not sure where all that is at now in Canada with all that, but I've been on a couple of theirs and I've seen them around quite a bit. They have a really good pen of bucking bulls, and they have multiple bulls that could be at the NFR, and they always have at least one or two there. I've never gotten to go be at a full-on bull riding that they've put on before, but I'm excited. I'd imagine it's going to be hard to find one you're disappointed in.
I'm sure, and it's got to be like riding a moose, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. They got some giant bulls up there, and those fit me a little bit taller, and they might scare some guys. Mean big bulls up there, but they feel good to me, and I always seem to get along with them. The one bull I sticks out in my mind that I did get on of there is actually won me the Pro Rodeo Tour finale a few years ago in Washington. So I got along with him, and I'm excited to see what I got this time.
There is another Montana connection, and that is Ruger Piva, who's been riding so well the last few years. He went to school at Western, but he actually rodeoed some high school stuff up in Alaska, I found out. So that's kind of a cool deal, too. A couple of Montana boys headed up there.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. I'll have to ask him about that. But, yeah, I'm pretty good friends with Ruger, and he's riding outstanding. I'm hoping we can get him to the NFR this time.
Let's get you there. Let's get Hawk there. Let's get Ruger there, and then we'll have a whole lot of connections there.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
And then Chase Doherty, too.
Yeah.
Because
we could have a whole crew going.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Bunch of Montana connections all there, and you can all take down Sage, because that's everybody's goal, right? And Stetson now because he's so good.
I know. Now we had Sage, and I've been fighting with him over the deal for a few years, and then we had to add Stetson in there now too. So it's got our work cut out for us.
Oh,
but it
man.
can be done, I think.
You know, it's great, though, to see all these young kids coming up. It's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. It shows that the future of the sport's bright, and every year there's another kid that I hadn't met before that comes along and rides better than I do already. So maybe that's what happens with age. I'm not sure, but it's pretty neat to see how it all works.
Well, you're riding pretty well right now. I think, like I said, 8th right now in the world standings, and not that you're keeping count of that just yet. But when do you start looking at that, going, all right, I can skip out on a rodeo or two this summer if I'm here? Where is that point?
Well, right around July, it's kind of where that starts happening for me. If I'm sitting pretty good up there, my goal kind of starts becoming not to burn myself out, which is pretty easy to do actually with as many rodeos as there are nowadays. Guy kind of enters too many of them, and before he knows it, he's not doing good at any of them because he's wore out or beat up. So that's just something that you gotta, professional wise, you kind of have to evaluate. But for now, I'm kind of entering everything I can and trying to improve on that 8. Like I say, I've won quite a bit the last month and a half, and still kind of dropped a couple spots. And then here about a week ago, I moved up a couple, so kind of jockeying a little bit.
Well, as long as you stay in that top 15, just stay in the top 10, and we'll just be. I think we'll be in a good spot come September and then into December.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. And actually, I'm hoping to move up to top 5, top 3, maybe even top 2, like I was a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Try to get back where I left off anyway.
No doubt. Hey, you going to be at the Stampede in July?
Yeah, I should be there. Didn't get to go, well, obviously last year and then year before that, so I'm hoping I'll be able to make it this time.
Well, I look forward to seeing you in person again. Have fun up in Alaska. Find some good fishing spots and let me know, and we'll head up there next year.
Oh, shoot, yeah, it sounds like a plan to me.
All right, thanks, Parker. Travel safe, my man.
Yeah, thank you.
That is Parker Breding joining us here, Jason Walker Show. He is a fantastic bull rider. Great guy. Love talking with him. And, he's riding really, really well right now. And that'd be cool if he won up there in Alaska. It's a big event, and it's going to be fun. We'll talk to Frank Koloski about it coming up. But Parker's having a great year, and let's keep it going. So quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Frank Koloski about Rodeo Alaska. And they got a big couple of days up there for Memorial Day weekend. What are your plans for Memorial Day weekend? Let me know. And don't forget to vote on the Twitter poll, @JWalkerSports. What should MSU-B do? Add football? Not add football? Stay D2? Drop to the NAIA Frontier? Let me know. Get your votes in. You can tweet and all of that. So, @JWalkerSports, email Jason at jasonwalkershow.com, and much more. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and we'll talk with Frank Koloski, the CEO of Rodeo Alaska. Big events coming up there this weekend. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
Listen to The Jason Walker Show anytime and anywhere. Download The Jason Walker Show on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you enjoy podcasts.
Or you can just go to jasonwalkershow.com and hear everything. At least when the audio works, which is not the case as it was last week. Had some great interviews that nobody got to hear because of computer and technology, but we're all set now. And thankfully, one of the dudes that we talked with last week, he's busy. He's super busy this week, but he was more than able, or willing, I guess, to come back. And we just talked to Parker Breding from Edgar, and who's heading up to the big bull riding this week up in Palmer, Alaska, just outside Anchorage. But Frank Koloski, CEO of Rodeo Alaska, joining us. All right, let's pretend last week never happened. I've never talked to you before. How are you?
I am doing great, Jason. I got one problem.
Uh-oh.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, well,
I'm just kidding.
Welcome to my world.
Thanks for having me again, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you being able to hop back on. Let's talk about Rodeo Alaska. You are yourself, me, myself, and I, you said, rodeo committee. But Saturday night in Palmer, Alaska, huge bull riding event coming up, and you've been working your tail off to make this happen, and we're just a few days away, my friend.
That's right. It's so exciting. I'm telling you, first and foremost, it's the power of God and how He's able to just put a hand on not only the setting for this whole entire event, historical event, but how truly blessed I am to. I'm living this dream right now. So full circle. It's right here, and it's so surreal. And just the fact that you just had a conversation with Parker, man, it's like the icing on the cake, and dessert hasn't even been served yet. But super excited about this, and it's finally going to happen. It's never ever happened here in Alaska where we've had a PRCA sanctioned style event here, which obviously is the northernmost PRCA bull riding in America. It's all happening this weekend, and we can't wait. This community, this state has gone absolutely haywire.
That's awesome that the whole state's behind it. It's not just the city of Anchorage or Palmer. I mean, it's the entire state which has gotten behind this, which I think is super awesome. And it shows how beloved rodeo is, bull riding is, but also you guys just want to see some great competition, and that's going to happen.
That's exactly right. And, the great competition, but we're open. We're open for business, and we welcome this. It's much needed anywhere you go in the country, through all the hard times we've been challenged with here as of late, in the past. And I don't want to talk like we have those problems now because it's behind us. We need to focus on moving forward. And this is one staple event that is not only going to be forever embedded in everyone's minds for years to come as being the first and being a part of it, but coming out of a challenging time like we have, and coming together as a community to embrace this, man, it's hard not to get all teared up on when I'm saying this because it's a matter of just going to a grocery store and the family coming up and saying thanks. It's the best payment anybody could ever have, and it's just very, very true. It's very real, and we're just super excited, and we're blessed.
34 of the top 40 bull riders in the country in the PRCA circuit are going to be there. That includes Sage Kimzey, 6-time winner of the National Finals Rodeo. It includes Parker Breding, who we talked with, who's won 4 circuit finals at the Ram Circuit Finals down there in Florida. From Florida to Alaska. I mean, how cool would that be if Parker, from Montana, but wins in April in Florida and then wins the end of the month in Alaska? That's from one end of the country to the other.
It's so how awesome. And that's my hometown. Kissimmee St. Cloud is where it all started for me. Coming up through the rodeo ranks, I myself used to ride and compete, before I come up here to Alaska for a real job, and then just found myself in a perfect situation at the right time to start producing rodeos. And I'm, from that point on. But another guy comes to mind is Sellers, Clayton Sellers.
Mm-hmm.
I rodeoed with his daddy. It's just the list goes on. And Ruger Piva, a huge favorite of mine. And like I said, he's fallen short a little bit for the past couple of years, but this whole entire state is 100% behind him, and hopefully that's the one that's going to keep him in the top. I think he's sitting 12 right now anywhere in that. If you want any kind of money, you could bump up all the way to 7th. It looks like it's that tight.
Wow.
But Ruger's won some championship rodeos up here that I've had here in a few years ago before he broke out into PRCA, and the list, as you said, of talent is just unremarkable. Not counting the bulls.
Yeah,
we have outlaw buckers.
Yeah, which we'll talk about in a second, because I know I just asked Parker about the bulls. But going back to Ruger real quick, is Frank Koloski joining us. Ruger rodeoed at Montana Western, which is about 2 hours south of us here in Dillon, Montana. But so there's the connection as well. And then you got Hawk Witt coming up, and great Montana guy connection. And it's so cool to see all those guys that are all flying up there for pretty relatively inexpensively, according to Parker. But it's pretty cool that these guys are all coming up there and going to take a weekend to just do some rodeoing, and coming off the emotional weekend of last week with the George Paul. Now they're going to cut it loose and have some fun up in Alaska.
Yes. And, you mentioned emotional. I'm the emotional one out of all this right now. It's just so crazy. And, and that's exactly what we want for them, to come up here and first and foremost have a grand old time. Because if they're up here and they're comfortable and they're having a good time, that's going to show out there in that arena. And we're going to give them, our spectators, exactly what they wanted. And I think that's all going to flow all within itself. Exactly just that. And we're tickled. We're tickled.
You talked about outlaw buckers bringing up from Canada, and Parker said that these are pretty good. They put on a lot of PBR events pre-COVID up in Canada, so these are really good bulls that are going to be there. And you talk about the athletes of the human variety, but these bull athletes that are coming up it's going to be a great Saturday night.
Unbelievable. These bulls traveled so well, and I think. And I'm not no bull whisperer or what have you, but I guarantee you, if I was, they're thinking we're just as excited as the contestants coming up to get on them, because they're wanting to go to work, and they exactly what you just said pre-COVID, and then they've been shut down, and they've been looking for places to go, and I think they're wanting to shine as well.
Frank Koloski, our guest here, is the CEO of Rodeo Alaska, and Saturday night's going to be fantastic, but you've got rodeos actually scheduled around it Friday and Sunday there in Palmer, which is going to be pretty cool too.
I do. I have a Ram Championship rodeo that takes place through, primarily through our local, but we're open. It's an open rodeo that will take place and kick this whole championship weekend off on Friday. And then we'll roll the Extreme Bulls with a huge concert right after with William Michael Morgan. And then on Sunday, we'll do a matinee Ram Championship Rodeo again on Sunday there for that matinee, and then follow it all up with a kids junior rodeo on Monday.
Nice.
That's the part that really gets me is that, when I started these rodeos back in 2010, we had maybe 20, 25 kids, wanting to participate in this junior rodeo, and we're well over 200.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice job. Congratulations on that.
Thank
that
you
is
so
super
much.
cool. Palmer's got a lot of other stuff going on too. I mean, if people want to check out, there's a lot of stuff in Alaska this weekend in the Anchorage and Palmer and Kodiak area.
Oh, they got Salmon Fest going on down there in Kodiak. That's just a quick little half-hour, 45-minute flight right there out of Anchorage. Anchorage is the main hub for the flights coming in and out of there, and Parker nailed it. Alaska Airlines is very aggressive. A lot of the airlines are very aggressive getting people out and getting them moving around, especially as they're trying to stay on top of where everybody's starting to open back up or has opened back up or been open. So take advantage of that without any question. And I think, from that standpoint and all the different festivities that are taking place locally, the captive audience is actually going to be right here at the fairgrounds. I have the whole setting here. From the carnival rides to the concerts to the vendors, you name it, it's going on here. And of course, the backdrop of the mountains that are here is just unbelievable. I'll send you a picture when I get off the phone. But this,
I look forward to it.
Unbelievable.
Frank Koloski, our guest here, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. So what's the temperature supposed to be like this weekend? We had snow on the ground this past weekend, like 2 days ago. It snowed all weekend here in Helena.
Y'all need to come north.
How crazy is that?
Well, exactly. We went through this very same thing with Texas and San Antonio. It's like, well, that's what you get, for masking up or whatever. We're up here, we're in the mid 40s, upper 40s, and they're freezing, below freezing down there. But same thing, here is this weekend's supposed to be in the mid 60s. But really, it feels like in the upper 70s when you really, really take it all in. The numbers is only a number when it comes time for the temperature. And, the best part of all this is sun don't go down. It's I think it's setting around 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning now, but you still have light. But that just gets, that allows William Michael to play longer.
Well, I was just going to say, bull riders like to have some fun after they ride. So these guys are going to be sticking around having a good time on Saturday night. Yes. And bulls tend to buck a little bit better when it's not 95 degrees. They tend to buck a little better in the 60s and 70s.
I really, truly believe that. And that is absolutely right. I think from the standpoint of them boys getting rested up a little bit here and, and everybody's all happy. And, as far as the pens go, and the weather is supposed to be just right, for going into this weekend. And we just pray that everybody gets here safely and the bulls buck to the best of their abilities. And we get some guys that can ride. And one lucky son of a gun is going to have their chance to ride for the gold, for that Bering Sea Gold.
That's right.
Generously donated by Mr. Gold himself from the hit TV show on the Discovery Channel. The Bering Sea Gold donated 5 ounces of gold, and that's like $10,000 if I'm not mistaken, close to it there. And so we have Outlaw Buckers Moonlight Party that's up for the challenge, and whoever wins the championship, northernmost first annual northernmost Extreme Bulls event will have the opportunity to ride for that extra 10 grand in gold.
So if they win it, okay, let's just say you won. What would you do with it? Do you put it in a buckle? Do you just put it in a safe deposit box?
All joking aside, first of all, when I first got the gold from Mr. Gold himself, was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
He pours it out in a mason jar, which this guy spends 5-6 hours at a time under the water in the middle of December, up in Nome, which is way further north than Fairbanks and what have you, in that freezing cold water. And he comes up, he works his tail off for every bit to get. For him to generously donate that to us the way he has, and then how I went and got it and visited with him and talked about things in the show, straight up, down to earth, he's my best friend, not because of the gold, but he's just one of those kind of guys that he's a man's man. He's a good, hard-working guy, and he's very humble about everything, and it's just it's unbelievable. What if the guy gets bucked off? I have decisions to make, but my heart is telling me that hopefully we're going to add to that, and we're going to add to everything from this to keep this streak going, to keep Alaska on the map as a tour stop. And you know what? All paths come through Palmer, Alaska to get to Pendleton.
Ooh, that's good. You had another say. You dreamt it one night, wrote it down. What is it? The final last? It's
Ain't no fear in the last frontier.
Ain't no fear in the last frontier. I like that. Hey, next year you gotta keep me in mind. I want to put my name somewhere, the Jason Walker Show, somewhere in that arena, and be a sponsor of this thing next year.
I appreciate you. You know what's even going to be better? When we do a live broadcast, when you're up here, we're going to feed that down there to all your listener audience, which I'm sure is huge.
I love
and
that.
As we're speaking, you're climbing the ranks right now, as I hope you are. And I think we set up a table and everything. We just go live with you.
You know what? I have no problem with that. I would love to come to Alaska. I've never been.
Well, we do this. I'm flying you up here.
I'm in. We're going to stay in touch, my friend. This is it's the start of something beautiful.
It is. It's beautiful here. My Casa, your Casa, and then I come down there because I love me some big sky country.
There you go. And we gotta go golfing too. So
yes, yeah. We'll pick a tea time anytime after midnight.
I love to see, and that's just really cool to me. Like golfing at midnight is just crazy. And you guys have done this. Not only do they play.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's Anchorage where they play the 24-hour game, but in baseball. Yep. But you guys golf all the time.
Yeah, we golf. We tea times start at 12 a.m. and then we go all the way through into the mornings and then end it around lunchtime. But we start at midnight. Yes, sir.
Man, yeah, I'm coming up next year. I want to spend a week in Alaska and just hanging out with you because you're like the coolest dude that I've ever talked with.
Thank you so much. One of those things, I got old Dusty Tuckness and Nathan Justice. We got tea times for Thursday.
Awesome. So they're coming up to fight. That's awesome.
They're coming up to fight, but they called me out to go out on the golf course. So
sweet.
I'm all in for bullfighting koozies.
I hope you have everything done so that you can get out there, do some golfing with those guys.
I do too. I really truly do. I probably won't be able to, but I'll get them set up with a tea time for sure. Though.
I think you'll be out there at least do 9, and you allow yourself that much.
Yeah, I got to string them on a little bit.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, appreciate you joining us again, and man, good luck this weekend. I can't wait to hear how it goes. I can't wait to see Parker Breding holding that gold. He's my pick, man. He's a Montana boy.
Boy, he's a hard one not to pick, I tell you.
Right?
He is sticky, just like his daddy.
Oh,
I tell you.
Yeah.
Legendary. I love seeing it. I love seeing these kids. I know it shows my age, but
mine too.
Like I said before, yeah, it's just awesome to see these kids following Dad's footsteps. And it's not necessarily filling Dad's shoes; it's making their own prints, and he's done a great job with it.
Absolutely,
he's done a great job.
Hey, tell my friends hi up there when you see them this weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Have fun, and just allow the best to happen. And, man, I'm wishing the best for you guys all weekend long. The athletes, the Bulls, everybody. It's going to be a good time. And, of course, you for putting all this on. So congratulations.
Thank you so very much. Those words speak volumes and mean so much to me. And I appreciate you having me on your show. It's an honor.
And we'll chat soon, my friend.
Look forward to it.
All right, that is Frank Koloski joining us here, Jason Walker Show, CEO, Rodeo Alaska. Man, it's going to be so much fun this weekend. I'd love to. Next year, how cool. We're going to make this happen. Next year, Memorial Day weekend, we got to be in Alaska. All right, let's get this done. Man, so much fun. I love myself some bull riding. All right. And so do you. Who doesn't? It's going to be a fun weekend up there for those guys. All right, let's do, let's see, what did we get? Yeah, on this day in history, It is brought to you by Big Sky Printwear. We print what you wear. Go see Sheila and the gang. 35 plus years of experience. They're located now on the corner of Henderson and Euclid. And you can get one shirt printed. You can get 1,000. You can get whatever you need. Go see Sheila at Big Sky Printwear. We print what you wear. Today is May the 25th. It is National Missing Children's Day. It is National Tap Dance Day, Brown Baguette Day, Towel Day, and National Wine Day. Not wine like the left, but wine like you drink. Let's see. On this day in 1868, Australian... That has absolutely nothing to do with what I was going to talk about. All right, 1876. Here we go. Shirley, the horse, wins the 4th Preakness. 1895, Belmar wins the 20th. 1899, at the Belmont, Jean Barraud, the horse, would win the 33rd. 1900, retired London firemaster Ayr Massey Shaw, 70 years old. Now, this is disputed, but is reputedly becoming the oldest gold medalist in the Olympics history for sailing. Age 70. It's disputed. I think the age, but that's pretty cool. 1904, at the 38th Belmont, Delhi would win the horse. 1935. This is, how good was Jesse Owens? Jesse Owens probably could have got on a bull and ridden it. Jesse Owens on this day, 1935, at a Big Ten track meet, equals or breaks 4 world records in a span of 45 minutes. It's remembered as the greatest 45 minutes ever in sport. Pretty cool. Also in 1935, Babe Ruth would hit the last 3 home runs of his career. 1941, Ted Williams gets his batting average above 400 for the first time that year. He would end at 406 and still not win the Triple Crown. Why? Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak happened the same year. 1951, or not the Triple Crown, the MVP award. 1951, Willie Mays' first Major League game. He goes 0 for 5. We have Willie Mays' autograph picture hanging right there. That is Willie Mays' picture and autograph. He got a hit on that hit right there. But that's pretty cool. Let's see what else happened on this date. 1978, Boston Garden, a three-peat for the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup. 81, Carl Yastrzemski, at the age of 41, becomes the 4th player to play in 3,000 Major League Baseball games. Ty Cobb, Stan Musial, Hank Aaron. 1989, Stanley Cup Final. Calgary Flames beat the Montreal Canadiens. First title for the Flames. 1991, Pittsburgh Penguins win their first title in the Stanley Cup. Happy birthday, 1898. Gene Tunney was born, the American boxer, and was the heavyweight champ from 1926 to 1930. Casey Jones, born on this date, 1932, passed away last year, but he was the Hall of Famer, won Olympic gold in 1956. Championships in the NBA from 59 to 66 with the Celtics, and coached the Celtics to championships in 84 and 86. Kendall Coyne Schofield was born on this date in 1992. She was part of the Olympic gold for the U.S. in 2018. Allie Raisman, born on this date in 1984. 1994 rather, 2-time Olympic medalist, part of the Fierce 5 and the Final 5. And she was born on this date, 1994. Jessie Coulter, Waylon Jennings' wife, was born on this date, 1943. I'm Not Lisa was her famous song. Remember that? And in 2008 on this date, J.R. Simplot passed away. He was an American potato farmer. But huge Simplot Games, Simplot Stadium, Caldwell, and so there's the connection to sports. So pretty cool stuff there. Let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Oh, man. Frank Koloski just sent a picture of bull the trailers that carried the outlaw bucking bulls up to Rodeo, Alaska, with the mountains in the background. And that is awesome. We'll try to put it up online tomorrow or something. That was pretty cool. Appreciate him joining us. Frank Koloski. That was fun. Rodeo, Alaska. And you've got 34 of the top 40 bull riders in the country, PRCA, headed up to Alaska this weekend for big extreme bulls competition, which is awesome. And it's going to be fun. Good luck to everybody. Safe travels to everybody. That includes Parker Breding, who also joined us today. That was fun. We'll talk to Sean Gleason tomorrow, CEO of the PBR. He is scheduled to join us right at the top of the show. We talked about this last week, but there's a big deal in California, especially in LA. They're trying to get anything rodeo banned in LA County, which would then affect literally everything rodeo-wise around LA, and then other cities would get involved, and it would just not be good for rodeo. So we'll talk to Sean Gleason about that. The PBR has teamed up with the PRCA and multiple others to make sure that doesn't happen. So we'll talk to Mr. Gleason hopefully tomorrow. I did see this. Okay, so we talk a lot about rodeo stars, and especially bull riders and bronc riders, how tough they are, right? And hockey players, same thing. Bryce Harper, the Philadelphia Phillies, has been placed on the 10-day injured list. He has a forearm bruise. A bruise on his arm, and he can't play baseball. What? Look, I played baseball. I know it's physically demanding. It's not like riding a bull. It's not even like riding a barrel horse. And it's like LeBron the other day. Got poked in the eye and was down for like 80 seconds or something, minute and a half. You had a dude from the New York Mets last week get drilled in the face with a fastball, and he was on the ground for like 30 seconds. So, come on, dude. Like, you have a bruise on your arm. I think LeBron missed a game or like a week earlier this year with a bruise on his leg. Like, dude, you're a world-class athlete. What the hell's wrong with you? You can't play? Come on. Oh, I digress. We had fun today. I don't want to ruin it. Don't forget to vote at JWalkerSports on the Twitter. Jason at JasonWalkerShow.com. Should MSU add football and or drop down to the NAIA and join the Frontier? You can vote till tomorrow. Again, thanks to Parker Breding. Thanks to Frank Koloski for joining us tomorrow. Sean Gleason scheduled to join us. Get you set for some state tournaments as well. Tennis, track, softball this weekend in the state. It's Memorial Day weekend. What are your plans? We'll discuss tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Join us. Go to JasonWalkerShow.com if you missed anything. Can't wait. See you tomorrow.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.